Hey all adventurers. So me and my gaming group, we've been playing Pathfinder Rise of the Rune Lords recently, but sometimes like we're 4 players and 1 game masters, and sometimes 2 of the players can't participate because X or Y reason, and I told the game master I don't wanna play Rise of the Rune Lords, which is known to be very deadly, alone with my wife. So he actually recommended, alright, how about you run something on Fridays, because we're running Rise of the Rune Lords on Saturdays. Why don't you run something on Fridays, and any Saturday that we can't play, you run whatever you're gonna run as well. Now I agree, that's a good idea. I asked him what he wanted to play. He doesn't want to play 5th edition, so whatever. We considered Pathfinder, but I told him, you know what, we're already playing Pathfinder, I don't want to run 2 different Pathfinder games. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. What about Cthulhu Tech? And I said, you know what, I have a couple of ideas that we could do for Cthulhu Tech. Then he actually told me, you have Iron Kingdoms. And I'm like, yes, I do. It's like, it's a really good game. How about you read up on it and then we play it? I'm like, alright, color me intrigued. And I read it. Oh my word, that game, it appeared to be fun. And then last night we had our first session, and my word, is it fun. That game is amazing. So my friend Paladin, he's field mechanic thief. He has a steam jack, and my wife Wintera, she's a warcaster spy. So they're outlaws. They're doing the whole outlaw thing. They have the base of operations, but their base of operations actually are underneath an arcane order. Because I said, since it's just 2 of you, it's fine if I give you a bit of extra things to do. So their front is an arcane order. So they like that idea a lot. So we began the session last night, and I told them, yeah, it's been a good year, but these past few days have been very, very slow. Let's say a couple of weeks, they've been slow. And you guys have decided to, go look for trouble, so to speak. So they found out that the train station, they're carrying some golden planks to a bank up north. So they said, let's go attack it and let's go steal 1. Because with 1, we'll have enough gold for a while. Let's steal 1, maybe, if they misplace like 6 of them, they'll be very suspicious. But if they lose just 1, maybe it was just lost. And I'm like, you know what, that is smart. And they did that. They have a lot of people working for them, so they said we signal for them to make to distract the guards, and we can go in. And I told them, alright, 4 of your people go in. They rush and they scream out, snatch and run, and they grab people, they take their stuff and they run away, and a lot of guards went after them. Then there were 4 other guards. The steam jack used his cannon and blew up one of the guards. One of the other guards actually was able to hit the deck and avoid the attack from the steam jack. Then battle ensued. Wintera decided to go into the train station, grab the golden plank, and just get out of there, so they could do it, fast and as less messy as they could. The field mechanic, Paladin's character, almost died. It's a dwarf. Almost died because one of the guards had a pole arm actually attacked the dwarf from in front of the steam jack. They ran away. They noticed that the guards weren't really giving that much of a chase. They got back to their hideout. Then when Wintera went up to do her arcane order thing, she encountered Reginald Gumshoe. He is the local detective who is very, very good, to the point that he knows Wintera's character's real name, because she has a fake name. He knows her real name, and he knows that they're he knows they're outlaws, and he knows they have an organization down there, but nobody in the force believes them because he knows what they are, but he has never been able to get concrete proof of it. So even though he has taken them to court in the past, they have never been sent to jail or anything like that because he can't really prove it. He knows who they are, he just can't prove it. So that's like the rival I put for them in the game. They really and utterly enjoyed Detective Gumshoe. They really really enjoyed them. So that made me very happy that they enjoyed the first NPC I presented them. Well, he informs them. He asked them where are the 6 golden planks, and she says 6 golden planks. What are you talking about? I was like, they stole 6 golden planks from the train station, and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Obviously, she goes to the outlaw area and she tells the dwarf, hey, Gumshoe was here and he said that 6 golden planks were stolen, but we just took 1. So they decide, you know, maybe guards, the guards, the reason they didn't attack us that much is because they were gonna steal some planks already. So they go back, they look for the guards, they spy on them. They figure out that the guards really don't know where the planks are either. They actually kidnap one. They ask him, why didn't you shoot at us? And the guard said, hey, you know what? I don't get paid enough for this. I just get paid to guard stuff. I know it's gonna get deducted from my pay, but I don't get paid to kill people and much less fight Steamjack. And they're like, okay, that makes sense. We screwed up a little bit, but that's fine. They put him back in his place. They ask around town if there's like anybody new trying to muscle into the town. They said that there was a Nis waiting in front of there's a Nis that is new in town. A Nis, for those of you that don't know about Iron Kingdoms, is it's basically an elf. It's an elf. So the elf is at the entrance of the town and it's just been standing there at the entrance for every day. Just goes there, pays people to bring him food, and then just at night goes and sleep at a local inn. They go and contact him and they ask him, what are you doing? And the elf tells them, why should I tell you? And they're like, oh no, we're curious. And he's like, good for you, I'm not gonna tell you. Who the fuck are you guys? And they say, you know what, whatever. Wintera tells them, well, if you ever need any help, you know, we're part of an arcane order. Maybe we could help with something. And they leave. The next day, he actually takes them up on it because he goes up to them and tells them, hey, I need... later that night, he says, I need help because a couple of friends of mine went to some mines down south and they haven't come back yet. And I know there are some ancient relics there because that's where they were looking for. There should be a shrine to my goddess. We can go there. Anything we find of value you can keep. However, anything that resembles my goddess or was used to worship my goddess, I get to keep. And Winter was like, you know what, that sounds fair. Dennis also pays them up from 50 gold pieces. Says, I am gonna pay you, besides that I'm gonna pay you something extra on the side. Then they decide, you know what, let's go to the train station. Let's go to the guard post and stuff like that at the train station. Maybe they have a ledger there with the passengers that were supposed to be on the train, and maybe we can start contacting them from there. And okay, good idea. They arrive, they see Gumshoe there. The place is full to the brim with guards. I tell them, you know, like from what you see, probably the police station is empty right now because apparently Gumshoe took everybody to the train station and took them away from the police station. Wintera's character talks to Gumshoe. Gumshoe, you know, he's having none of it. He honestly believes they took the 6 planks and he's not letting them near. He even says, oh, you're back to the scene of the crime. Oh, how obvious of you criminals. And while that's happening, the dwarf is going around trying to sneak in to see if he can get into the place they wanted, but it is so packed that he decided not to risk it. But when they convene together, Wintera and Paladin, they decide, you know what, the police station is empty, maybe you could find something there. So they break into the police station and they go through a window. They were gonna go to Gumshoe's office and pull a prank, but Wintera tells Paladin, don't do that because he knows it's gonna be us. Don't get us into more trouble. And Paladin's like, crap, okay, yeah, you're right, let's do that. So they go to the evidence locker and they open it up, surprisingly because Paladin rolled really well. They open it up and he checks the booklet, the book for all the evidence they can find, see if they find something about those golden planks. They found nothing. However, they notice a steamjack inside of the Amathian. It's from another kingdom. a Steamjack, which is basically a giant robot. Not a giant robot, but it's a robot. It's a combat robot. They find a robot from another kingdom there. It's been completely deactivated, obviously. And since Paladin is a field mechanic, he's very excited because he can fix those robots and put them to fight for him. But it would take them too long, and they didn't know how long they had, so they just decided to check to see if they find any jewelry. They do. They go to the jewelry locker, and they're gonna take all of them. But I told them, okay, wait. You guys are playing evil characters, basically. You know, you guys are playing outlaws. You guys have been doing this, and you guys are good. You would know that taking all of the jewelry would be stupid. So maybe like two to three articles of jewelry would be best. And he's like, oh, okay, can I roll something to appraise more or less what will be the things that gave me the most gold? And I'm like, sure. And they took 2 gold rings with diamonds. The diamonds were in the rings, obviously, and diamond encrusted pearl necklace. That Paladin kept that one. Wintera kept another one of the rings, and they were gonna pawn off, fence one of the other rings. They had already sent their fence to go sell the golden planks, but he was like, it's gonna take me a couple of days because this plank is really hot right now. Not many people are gonna want to buy it right now for a good price, anyways. And they're like, we understand that. So the next day, Gumshoe appears and he tells them about. He grabs Wintera by the hands and he looks at the hands, and they're like, oh, he knows about the stolen jewelry. And he's like, no, you haven't come into any new jewelry. And she's like, no, why would I? I just work at a arcane order. We don't get that much money. So they walk to the entrance of the town. Gumshoe asks her if he can go and see if they're really telling the truth and they're actually leaving town. She's like, whatever. They get to the elf. They head down. They travel south. It takes them about a week to get to the dig site. In the dig site, they talk to the foreman. The foreman says that, yeah, sure, some elves went into the cave down there, but we haven't gone there. We're just, excavating for minerals up here. We don't really care what's inside that cave. So they go into the cave. They notice that the cave smells like gasoline, so they decide to leave the Steamjack behind. Luckily, the elf has some magic, so he creates a light spell so he can light the way. They go in there. There are a couple of forking paths, but it's not that big of a cave. But as they go to a circular area, and it's like it has gravel. The cave has gravel on the floor, but the gravel's all moist and wet, and it stinks of gasoline. And the field mechanic, he rolls and he's like, "This is gasoline. I don't like this place anymore." And they call to see if there was anybody in there in the big room. And when he calls, 3 undead, like 3 skeletons, climb from the ground, and they roll initiative. They fight them. The warcaster, who's supposed to be the strong melee character, was able to do 1 point of damage to each undead. And the field mechanic, who has an axe because he's a dwarf, so he likes axes, was able to kill them all in 1 hit. After that, they had 5 health each. He dealt a lot of damage to each of the skeletons, and he was like, "You're supposed to be the damage dealer, not me. Well, what is this?" But, the dice roll and the dice decide what they're gonna do. He took a lot of damage, the dwarf, but since he took the killing blow of everyone, he got a lot of feat points, so he was able to heal himself a lot. That was cool. Then they went to the other area. On the way there, they noticed some sparkly things on the side. They found an uncut diamond. They found a diadem with some gems encrusted, but they looked old, and they were just like encrusted into the gravel on the walls. And eventually they get to the end of another cave, but it apparently has like a small cave in, but they could move the stones. On the other side, they hear somebody chanting something, and after some really lucky rolls, they determine that's probably necromancy. So they look, and they're like, "We don't want to fight a necromancer," but the elf noticed that he saw that the necromancer had the 3 bodies of his friends, and the necromancer was raising them as undead, and he goes in and he just starts screaming and shouting that no, like my friends, leave them alone, blah blah blah. And I told him to roll initiative, and the necromancer and his thralls rolled crap, like snake eyes in the initiative roll, and these guys rolled over 20 in their initiative. So I'm like, you know what, whatever, you guys go first, what do you do? And they're like, you know what, we don't want to fight a necromancer, so let's run back to the entrance and then we'll throw some fire into the cave to make it blow up and screw that guy. And I'm like, alright. So they run out, they ask if the elf runs out with them, and I said, you know what, they don't really have a fire source like the players, so the elf runs out with them and casts a fire spell and blows up the cave. Not taking the flare away from the players, it's just that since they don't have a way to create fire themselves, I just took their idea and I had an NPC that could actually implement it. They go in, they take the bodies, the elf takes the body of his buddies with him. They go see where the necromancer is. The necromancer is shard and dead. They recover a couple more items, like old items that could catch a bit of a price if they're fenced correctly. And the elf gets an idol that represents his goddess and a makeshift altar. And they head back. They head back happy that they were able to get something. They're probably gonna get some money. They get back to town. Once they're in town, you know, the train already left. Obviously, they've been away for 2 weeks. Gumshoe doesn't believe that they were out because there's been some stealing. Somebody stole all the jewelry from the jewelry box in the evidence locker, and they're like, at this point, there's somebody that's copying us, and they're hitting the same places we're hitting, and this is getting annoying. So they do the same thing. They go around. They check for things. They see if anybody's muscling in the town, because you know they have the monopoly in the town. There's no other crime bosses in the town, but they don't find anything. And they're like, either these people are coming to this town stealing and then going to another town and selling them. Which, you know what, good on them. That's actually kind of a good idea. But you know, the next town over is kind of far away. So they get all the things fenced and pawned. In total, they made around 500 gold crowns, so they were really happy because they basically paid hit paid. They were very, very, very happy. When Tara goes to her office in the Arcane Order, there's a nobleman there waiting with his son and a scribe. And he says, "We saw you come into town with some shard bodies." And she's like, "Those bodies were there when we found them." And he's like, no, that's not what I'm concerned about. There was a fight, there was fire, maybe explosions. And she's like, yes, actually there was. It's like, well, and he was like, well, I got food now. It's awesome. And he was like, well, it's pork chops and it smells really good. Anyways, it's like, well, my son, he likes to read a lot, and I have bought him so many books, and to this point, what I decided is I'm going to adventures and I'm buying off their stories. So if you can gather your friends and you can tell us the stories, I would gladly pay you a hefty sum. And she was like, awesome, easy money. She tells the dwarf's really happy. He's like, getting paid to just talk? Hell yeah. The next day comes over. They talk to the nobleman. They tell them everything. They don't skim on details, and the nobleman actually pays them 150 gold pieces. So they're very, very happy with all the money they've made in a couple of short days. And the nobleman says, hey, if you don't mind, anytime that you have you go on any other adventures, let us know. I would like to buy more stories from you guys. And they're like, yes, sir. Hell yeah. After that, the Arcane Order actually got a visit from the Order's master, who's not stationed at that town, but in another town with the main Order. He tells them that up north, a couple of days' travel, a meteorite apparently fell, and he wants to get there before any other Arcane Order, so he tasks Wintera and Paladin to go gather it for him before anybody else goes. That's where we ended the session. been talking for 20 minutes, but the session lasted like 5 hours. It was really cool. First time I've ever played Iron Kingdoms is I think the second time Paladin is playing Iron Kingdoms is the first time my wife is also playing Iron Kingdoms. We liked how easy character creation is. We liked how easy combat is and how fast it goes. We really like this system. I was talking to Paladin a couple of days ago about if Pathfinder had never come along, we would have probably never because we didn't like 4th edition. We might have tried 5th edition because I want to try 5th edition. He doesn't because he has his own D&D as a whole. But if it wasn't for Pathfinder, I honestly think that we would have played Iron Kingdoms a lot more. That would be our go-to game because there's a lot of replayability because there are so many classes that you can combine. So yeah, that's. And I can totally see it now after playing one session. Like, I can't wait for next week to do the other things I have planned. Because I have planned a lot of interesting things. Like, you know, obviously there is somebody in town moving money around and moving stolen goods around. And they don't know who that person is. So, we'll see how that goes. Also, the meteorite that fell. And the elf decided that, you know, he doesn't have his friends anymore. He doesn't want to go home anymore because his friends were basically his family. He asked Wintera, since she's the crime boss, do you need a bodyguard? I need work and I need a place to stay. And she was like, sure, you can tag along with us for a while. And you know that's their party. I mean, Dennis is an NPC. He doesn't really do anything during combat. I never roll for friendly NPCs. Like, usually you have a bonus to attack rolls because that guy's there, and that's about it. I mean, with how Iron Kingdoms is, maybe it's like, oh, you get a boosted attack roll every turn and stuff like that. Let me look at my campaign notes, see if yeah, that's how it is. Next week, they're gonna go get the meteorite. So that's been the first session for Iron Kingdoms, All Worlds stage. Eventually, that title is gonna make a lot more sense. And I'm very excited for what I'm gonna do. I actually told me and my wife's girlfriend what she's not playing right now, but I told her what I'm actually gonna do, and she's very excited. She told me it was really interesting, and I hope the players like what I'm gonna do with the rest of the game. I hope it's gonna be really fun. I am very happy that I'm playing Iron Kingdoms. What I told Paladin, however, is that I'm running Iron Kingdoms right now. I really want to play it. Like, right now, I really want to play Iron Kingdoms. I want to make an Arcanist Cutthroat. The Warcaster is cool and all, but I want to make a dish. I want to make an Arcanist Cutthroat that casts Arcane Armor or something like that, and Guided Blade every turn. I really want that. I really want that. Maybe they're gonna fight an NPC that's something like that, because that's something I want to play. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for liking the video. Thanks for sharing the video with everybody you know. And I'll see you guys next time for the next session.